Hello friends, I'm Renee with the Flippin' Tilbies, and today I'm going to be sharing with you different ways that you can modify your RV's fridge. Now there's typically two different types of fridges that comes in an RV. There is the traditional RV fridge, and then there's a residential style RV fridge. And all the tricks we're going to be sharing with you today will be for the traditional RV fridge. Now, before you want to dive into any type of modification, you're going to want to remove the fridge panels from the fridge. So the best way to do this is to open either the freezer or the fridge door. And then on the left-hand side, there's usually a trim piece that you can grasp and pull off. Sometimes this trim piece is on the top of the fridge panel or the freezer panel, but it is usually on the left-hand side. So you want to grasp that trim piece and you want to gently pull it away from the fridge. This should remove with very minimal effort. Sometimes a little bit of gunk can get in there and make it a little bit sticky. You might have to pull a little bit harder, but it should come out fairly easily. After that trim piece is removed, you'll just want to grab that fridge panel and slide it out, and it's easy as that to remove the fridge panels. If you do need to remove them through the top of the fridge, sometimes you will have to remove the entire fridge door, but most of the time you don't have to, and it's super easy to remove the fridge panels. Once you have them removed, it's time to decide what to do with them. You can either keep them or you can replace them. The types of panels that usually come in the RV fridges is a raised panel type that is usually finished to look like the other cabinets in your RV. The other kind is a flat panel type that is most often seen in a black glossy finish. Both of these are candidates for modifications, and you can also replace them with something else. So now that you've removed the panels, now it's time to decide what you want to do with them. The easiest way to modify the raised panel type is by simply painting them. You'll paint them the same way that you'd paint your cabinets. You're going to want to sand them down with a 220 grit sandpaper. Then you're going to want to get a degreaser, wipe them down, get it nice and clean, and then use a high quality primer on them, and then a cabinet paint. We'll typically apply the primer and the paint with either a paint sprayer or a sponge roller. This will create the best looking finish for your project. The glossy flat panel style isn't the best to repaint. So if you're going to want to repaint your flat panel fridge, you're just going to want to flip that entire panel over or replace it with a different type of material. If you have the raised style fridge panel, but you would like a flat panel, it's actually really easy to replace. You can get a 5mm Luan board or underlayment, cut that to the exact same size of your original panel, and then finish it with some sort of polyurethane or wood finisher, slide it back in, put your trim piece on, and now you have a beautiful wood look fridge. You can also do a ton of different things to that Luan board or that underlayment. You can paint it, you can create fun patterns with a wood burner, you can stain it. Really, your creativity is the limit when it comes to that canvas. One of my favorite projects that we've done with that flat Luan underlayment board is to get a wood burner, create a herringbone pattern, and then we did an ombre effect. How we created that is we went to the hardware store, we got 2 sample bottles of paint, one in a blue and one in a white. We slowly added the white to the blue as we moved up through each one of the layers of the herringbone. We created this really beautiful and subtle ombre look for our client's renovation. Another fun way that you can finish a flat panel for your RV's fridge is by painting with chalkboard paint. You can either use a liquid chalkboard paint, one that comes in a spray can, or you can also buy a vinyl chalkboard that will be applied very similar to a wallpaper. All of those options will give you a really great artist center for your RV's kitchen. Another great option to refinish your flat panel is wallpaper. You would simply get your fridge panel, lay it on top of the wallpaper that you've purchased, and then trace it out with a pencil, cut it to size, and then apply it to the panel. After you've gotten it lined up on your panel, you'll just slowly remove the backing, then use a credit card or something similar to smooth out any bumps or air bubbles. Since wallpapers come in such a large variety of types, colors, and patterns, really, there's almost no limit to the types of finishes that you can do when using wallpaper to refinish your RV's fridge panels. Another fun option to replace your RV's fridge panel is to cut a dry erase board to the same size as your original panel and then slide it in. And now not only do you have a beautiful white fridge, you now have a great place to take notes and use as a fun artist canvas. You can do the exact same technique with galvanized steel, cut it to size, slide it in, put your trim piece on. Now you have a magnetic stainless steel fridge, and you didn't even have to replace your fridge to get it. So there's our tips for different ways that you can modify your RV's fridge. If you end up using any of the tips that we shared in this video, we'd love to hear your experience in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and happy RVing.